We do not own the rights to anything or any music that's heard during the duration of this podcast. Also, a lot of these shows will have explicit content. So if you are not a fan of any cursing or profanity, you may want to walk away, but that does not mean that every show will consist of such. I know y'all tired of it, but we got a new season of The Past. Welcome to season 8, the Mamba Year. Podcast available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of your podcast platforms. Here you'll get a dose of content related to tech, the productivity world, and most importantly, how to be a better you. The theme for this year, personally, is receiving grace. And we definitely want to do better with receiving it and being open to being a better us from who we were a year ago. So this is season 8 of The Past, and I hope you all enjoy.
Taking time to give thanks and to be appreciative is the talk of the town or the dialogue of discussion. I got to give credit where credit is due. Getting a couple minutes shaved off and kind of having like a not short week, but semi chill workout week is a blessing. Um, I'm going to use today's walkcast as a space or an opportunity to address the importance of the heart. And this will, I'm, I don't know. Like I don't want to jump ahead too much, but for some reason, don't do I like using my equipment, setting up and recording and all that stuff? 100%. Like who doesn't? But I'm also finding that the opportunities I get to not only come out and walk and unplug, if you will, has also been like a breath of fresh air. So the breath of fresh air has turned into what you've been receiving known as the walkcast. So I don't take these for granted. Like full transparency, like every recording that I've done from my walk since I started doing these over a year ago, all of them are still saved on my phone. Now, whether that affects or impacts my storage, that's another conversation for another day. But I don't take these I don't take these lightly, and I don't take that for granted. I don't feel the urge or the need to give this disclaimer, but I'm still sharing it regardless. Um, I got two things that have hit the radar, and they are your your heart and planning. And I know for a lot of people, it seems like I'm talking about planning constantly. And I'm gonna say these, and I'm gonna talk about these two things because we're at a very unique, quote unquote, traditional time of the year. And saying that, I reference the fact that starting now, you're gonna have companies coming at you pushing their product. And when I say pushing their product, from the health and heart aspect, you'll get a lot of people getting information from American Family, Crunch, Gold's Gym, other workout facilities, and you also will get notifications or alerts or interest from Happy Planner, Passion Planner, even as a user of it, Bullet Journal. Like Bullet Journal's been put, it's so funny. So I have a promo code myself, but even with having the promo and affiliate code, they still are like, hey, we have the bullet journals in stock. Save 15% or get 15% off. And in my head, I'm like, I got mine back in October or November, whatever, early November. But I appreciate it, I guess. Um, I think I got mine like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Um, so it's it's an interesting time of the year when it comes to those two phrases of health and planning, uh, or the heart rather. So it won't be, and I'm saying this because I'm just real about it. I 100% don't know. Like I said earlier, I do not know when I'm going to actually take the time again and do the quote unquote traditional sit down podcast. And the reason why is because the way days have gone or been going, I'm not like, I don't want to say equipped, but I'm not as idle with time like I usually am. Like one week, I'm out getting a new vehicle. If you haven't heard, um, next week I'm out trying to, I'm down trying to get financial stuff straight. Last week it was cardiovascular. Um, really big on that. Sundays have been my do nothing day, but it's been my do nothing day of do nothing time with God. And it's probably been the most refreshing breath of fresh air that I've needed in quite some time. Uh, but that's kind of been the observation in a nutshell. But the heart. Oh my gosh, the heart. The heart gets put into the most unintended space of extracurricular that meets the eye. And I share that or talk about that with you all because a few, a week or so ago, my trainer's manager shared that, you know, hey, we're doing this event. It's going to be related to cardiovascular. You're welcome to attend. And I was like, all right, well, I'm interested, but I put that I was interested via Facebook. Didn't really commit to going because there was something with trying to set it up online and I just didn't follow through with it. So Thursday comes up and I get a text just saying, hey, were you still interested in attending? And my first thought was, I don't know if I really don't like, do I really want do I want to burn my Friday? I mean, burn my Saturday. But eventually I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's make it happen. So Saturday comes. If you've been following me or keeping up, uh, Saturdays are always walk day in the morning, like early walk. Like a lot of people be like, I don't understand how you get up there early. And I'm like, because it's the perfect time of the day when no one's on, when no one's out. Like when I walked this past Saturday, I think total there might have been three people out there walking, like including me, three. Um, so to get the walk done, like when I got out of it, when I initially was out there was nobody. And then people slowly were congregating to the walking space to get their steps in. So um I did that, and then I was like, all right, well, let's go ahead and we committed. We're gonna get ready and go over here and see what this is all about. Now I came in because I've learned now whenever I go to events at the well, dress like you're possibly going to work out because you never know what you may or may not be doing. And sure enough, we did kind of like a talk session we where the young lady gave some very important tips involving walking, involving the heart, kind of asked like my backstory with cardiovascular disease, what kind of prompted me to have an interest in it. And I don't I don't see it happening, but I think about my my parents who both have had pacemakers done. I think about my background in healthcare. Um, no no privacy on that. It's been a minute since I've not been there, so those who know, and we'll leave it at that. But um, fast forward, like we're talking about different things and talking about what to eat and how stress can play a part on the heart. Uh, we sometimes need the sometimes the body needs to be pushed, and the heart needs that extra push. Um, and I'll explain how that's important, especially from yesterday up until now. But Saturday kind of confirmed it big time because I started the, we did the conversations, everything like that. And I knew at some point I heard it mentioned like, well, yeah, well, there'll be some exercise, like a light exercise afterward. And I was like, okay, we'll probably just do something in the training facility, maybe do some stretches, things of that nature. Nope. She was like, all right, we're gonna get ready to go around the city. And we're gonna run and we're gonna jog and we're gonna walk, or we're just gonna get in the habit of helping your heart rate. So fast forward, we go outside, and as many of you who listen to my walkcast, doing what I'm doing now, just light walk, nothing big. And she said, okay, I want you to speed it up. So I'm gonna use the walk as an opportunity. I did, a good little walk where she was like, all right, we're gonna speed it up a little bit by walking. You're still not running, but just kind of get the blood going a little bit. And she said, all right, three, two, one. And we start running. And when you're in this position where you're outside trying to run and jog, when I've normally been like, I am the literal definition of like, I need boundaries when running. So for instance, the reason the track has been such an attractive walking and or running space is because it's the same thing. And for some people, they need that edge or they need that challenge. And sometimes you get that when going through the city, but also by nature, I mean, Churchill, it's a hilly place. It's very hilly, hill-esque, if you will. And It's just a matter of being able to put the body through a strenuous flow. So it basically was walk an hour, jog an hour, walk an hour, jog an hour. And I think we did that about six. I'd say 6 or 7, but it might have been longer. But by the time we were finished, and when we got back near the training facility, was I tired? Yeah. Did I feel like did I feel like death? Honestly, no. And the reason I didn't is because the conditioning, the habit building that I've done over the last few months of just doing this, coming out and walking or going to the track and walking. And so the whole point, and I'm gonna talk about the gym in a minute, on my gym session yesterday, the heart is important to us, whether we realize it or not. Yes, we need to protect it. Yes, we need to learn to love on people. But from a personal perspective, as people, we need to do our part to take better care of our heart, literally. Yesterday at the gym, I did my workout, did different exercises, stuff like that. And in the process, my friend was like, all right, we're gonna go on the treadmill. And I done told him everything that I did while I was training and doing the cardiovascular event. Fast forward, while we're doing the treadmill, he was like, all right, we're gonna push it a little bit. We start you off at like, I think I started off at like 3.7 miles per hour. Then I got to 3.8. Then I got to 3.9. And at one point, I think we got to 4. And after 4, he was like, all right, we're gonna do the max. We're going to 4.2. He pushed that joint to 4.3 for like the last 5 meters. And I thought time had a moment because listen, like I literally had every bit of pushed out of me for that workout. But oddly enough, like all the other exercises, I did just fine. Um, the leg lifts, which thinking back to when I first started doing those versus me doing them now, fam, total opposite of of a workout or of motion. But I don't regret a single bit of it whatsoever. So I really embrace where and how the workouts are and have helped me through my process. Uh, so yeah, that's the dialogue part on the heart. You know, as much as we say protect your heart, do things that can help your heart. So if you, in my case, if you are in a job that has you sitting a lot, from time to time, get up. Get up. It doesn't mean you got to get up and run around the building. If you're at work, just get up. I think I've had my standing desk now for 2 months, just about 2 months, and I ain't gonna lie to you. Well, actually, yeah, almost 2 months because I think I got it. I want to say Oc- October. Yeah, it came in the mail October, and at the time, I didn't think it would be a big deal or anything massive. But now having it and using it, love it. Love when I can like take that opportunity to just stand up and work. Um, my current project is to get it decluttered again because it got a little chaotic, like anything does. Uh, but that's that on that. Um, the other topic that I want to talk about, because the internet is going to do this thing. And I talked about this earlier. Companies are pushing you to buy planners. And I'm 100% on board with if you need one, get one. That's by far not what this message entails. However, what I want people to hone in on and really connect with today is if you need a planner, don't wait for July. I'm sorry, not July. Don't wait for January 1st to start planning. And I'm going to talk about this from the health and heart aspect too, because a lot of people do this. And someone posted this picture or posted this reference, and it's such a true statement because it happens every year. It is called it's called the Thanksgiving workout gym loop. And it happens every single year. People are adamant about buying gym memberships, and this is how it goes. It's, and I'm going to reference this to planning, and when I say this, you're going to really be like, I never thought about it like that. But it's the truth. Thanksgiving comes, you're going to eat food, you're going to spend time with family, you're going to feel like a glutton about how much you've eaten. You're going to have a lot of folks that are worried about their heart, their health, et cetera, things like that. And then Christmas comes and you're looking for gifts, unsure what to do, or you decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to go take that plunge, start going to the gym. And folks do this every single year. They put it on themselves or they add the pressure on themselves of, I'm going to the gym, which is fine. The gyms have all these promos. And then you look at December, going into January, the gym are flooded. And these are your mainstream gyms. Like you can't you can't find a treadmill to get on because everybody in the gym all day long. And this lasts for like 1, maybe 2 months. And then out of nowhere, no one's in the gym. So you almost find it better to start going to the gym in February or March. Proven fact. It is a very high profile or high level proven fact. It happens every year. Now, here's where planning gets us. And let me be clear when I say what I'm about to say. I take no credit for this on my own at all. Shout out to my longtime best friend, Special, who oddly enough, I need to hit her up soon and check in with her and see where her headspace is and things of that nature. But in October and or November, people start thinking about planning for the new year. And like this year, I'm gonna get it in. New year, new me. I got a lot of stuff that I want to do and a lot of things that I'm gonna get done. And let me be the first to tell you, I'm not against anyone having plans, dreams, goals, things that they would like to work on or consider tapping into. Not what this, not what this walk is about, and not what I'm here to spread the word in addressing. But, and this is a big but, do not pressure yourself with planning and feel as though you have to start investing in planning December or January. Plan today, because before you can blink and even think about it, 2025 will be here. And like I said, with those folks with the gym, in the stores and online, you're going to get deals and you're going to get sales, or you're going to get discounts of investing in a planner. And I'm here to tell you all, as indifferent as it's going to sound, and from someone like me who loves planning, do not run out and buy a bunch of planners. The reason why, you have to learn your style of planning. And a lot of people do not know what planner works for their style. Some people need time blocking. Some people need uh, happy planners. Like I mentioned before, like I said, happy planner, passion planner. Those are usually the first two that I know of. For a lot of the guys, I think I talked about this. This is what kind of guided me to learning bullet journaling, is the at a glance planners. When people think of at a glance, they think of the big calendars that you see in businesses that everybody write all this stuff on. They're like, man, I got all this stuff written down and I'm organized. And I'm like, you organized, but all that data has no home. So this is where finding your planner comes into play. And a friend of mine, he hit me up thinking about the planners and what's the best option. And I told him, I said, the at a glance planner is a good planner if you're needing something to jot notes, to get information, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the problem with many planners that no one likes to talk about is planners include a lot of things, but some planners are going to be missing a lot of things because a lot of people have preferences of things that they need. And the ironic part of this is, and this is what, for years, it's so like thinking back on it now, for the last 5 or 6 years, I literally remember Special made this template, and I still go back to it from time to time because it's worked when I've used it. And it basically is a full sheet that you write. It has every hour of each day listed out. And it's the traditional time blocking process. Slots that are going to be handled, work, if you do so, workouts, um, lunch, and commute if you're in an office or a hybrid person. But then you add in those surprising or unknown elements. Now, are a if you have a freelance based role, and freelance does not necessarily mean graphic web design. Like a friend of mine, he's a locksmith. Not sure if he want people to know it, but he's been on, but I know everybody's like specific. He listens to the shows, so he'll hear this one and get a lot of information. His schedule is freestyle, meaning someone will hit him up and ask, "Hey, I need da 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 for this, need this information." Integrating the hybrid planning is important. And when I say that, or when I reference that, I mean it as, you will find that whether you're digitally notating or physically notating, they have to coincide. Now, if you are strictly handwritten, I got no problem with that. Ironically, in many people's cases, at some point in their life, they didn't intend it to be this way, but a calendar app dominated their life. For most people, It's going to be Google Calendar. Now, my iOS folks and the app on Android bullshit, let's get it out of the way. If you use Android, you are going to be using Google Calendar. No negotiation, no arguments at all. For my iOS folks, if you are a calendar guy, nothing wrong with using calendar. If you don't use the default calendar, me being one of them, like I have the default calendar pushed with all of my information from my Google Calendar, but I don't attract myself to it enough. I think I got like two more laps in it. Well, walking on back. Um, our our calendars in the digital aspect can be pre-set or pre-made right in front of us because you're gonna put the things in you know that you have to put in. And the thing that's crazy with the majority of our calendars, all it takes is just getting to a device, putting it in. Now, phone wise can be convenient. Sometimes you need that sit down in front of a computer to put everything out there that you're working or doing. So, my Mac users, if you are eco friendly or ecosystem heavy, throw it in that Apple Calendar, put it all up there, and let it intertwine. Ironically, because of how I won't say overly tech that I am, because I am guilty as charged, but I use I kind of I kind of use it where everything covers each other. Meaning, if I put it in Apple Calendar, it's going to Google Calendar. If I put it in Google Calendar, it knows to go to. I also use Fantastical. I just recently found out about them. So, funny story with Fantastical. This is super random but super relevant. There's a widget. Someone had their that like showed their wallpaper on on like a Reddit or something on subreddit. And when they showed it, they had this little calendar where it showed a box covering the current date, and then it showed the days ahead of it and the days after it. And when I saw it, I was like, where did they get this calendar from? And how can I get one? And people were sharing it's Fantastical. Fantastical is a widget that you can add on your desktop. I mean, not on your desktop, but on your home page on your phone. Now, do I use Fantastical in general? Absolutely not. I don't. I think I added it on my personal laptop, but it's a it's a visual. It has stronger visual usage than it does physical usage. So I don't really personally subscribe to it to that capacity. Now, I still think it's a good tool because it does quite a fair share for its capability, and also it just works. Uh, I've not talked about this fully because I'm still waiting for things to iron out, but I am slowly but patiently waiting for Notion to release their trifecta of an email client because I already use Notion Calendar, going back to what I talked about with planning. And I've been using Notion for almost like about 2 or 3 years. At first, I didn't understand Notion, but in the words of Lethal Shooter, I understand it now. uh, and I want to talk about this too with the planning aspect. And I said this before, but I'm going to keep harping on this to remind people: do not wait for some perfect opportunity to land out of the sky and say, this is when I want to start planning. Get into a state of learning and beginning planning as early as you can. Because if you don't, it'll be March and you're still trying to plan. And to that point, and it's going to sound shocking when I say this, you can get a planner in March and still plan. But I would just recommend learning or preparing your ideas and thoughts for planning now while they're fresh and available. Um, don't remember when, and I almost feel like I need to do a personal listen, but I feel like one of my walks I gave my theme for next year. And I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I really have, I really want folks to invest that effort or invest that time into their structure and their routine and their discipline, because we hear this phrase or we hear this talk, but when you actually think about it, it's a true statement. If you don't if you don't plan out what you're looking to do or how you're looking to do it, it is literally going to be done for you. And most people do not like, whether they say it openly or not, people don't like their life planned out for them. I'm guilty of this because folks will, and I've had people do this, but we're going to do blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. And I watch them because I'm like, all right, this is what you said we're doing. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm against doing it, but if you're in charge of this plan, I got to go with the plan. Uh, and trust me, like it's not in no way, shape, or form will or is a plan going to be simple or easy or have a lot of fluidity to it, if you will. There's going to be some ridges. There's going to be some bumps. There's going to be some modifications. If there weren't, it wouldn't be a plan. And even down to how you can be the most overly organized person, things are going to fall in no matter what. Like the simple things that you know you got to do, you're going to do it. But the other stuff, it's like it becomes priority, prioritizing. Is this thing as important as the other person is claiming it to be? And to some people, whether we want to have this conversation or not, their importance is not your importance. And you have to be aware of that when it's being put in front of you. It's supposed to be like, yeah, man, we got to do blah, 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 blah. And we need to da, 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 da. And it's like, okay, then you go do blah, 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 or da, 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 da. I'm not doing that. I don't feel compelled to subscribe to that. And you don't need to, for lack of a better term, make me feel bad for not subscribing to it. Like many times in our lives, we're pushed, and there's nothing wrong with pushing. Let me be clear. We need limits that we need to be pushed past at times. But in some instances, folks think of if it works for me, it's got to work for everybody else. And it's like, no, it doesn't. Like, I've done bullet journaling for 4 years. And even with me doing it for as long as I have, I don't push bullet journaling on other people. Year one, I think year one was year one was my trial run. Year one, I used it was the Chelsea Bujo, and it was my own. I bought a notebook that was similar to the bullet journal notebook. Year two, I got introduced to buying an actual book and loved the book. Loved like the OG bullet journaling notebook by far. Um, it had like the large bullet journal sign on the front. It had every component and element of what and how to do bullet journaling within it. And it just worked. So I did that for year two. Like year one, and it's crazy because there were probably mainstream or mainstay individuals who left the earth in this year and last year that started the year, but I don't remember them like that. Those two, for some reason, first year, Kobe Bryant. Second year, Jonas, who Jonas was a big name in Tetris. And bullet journaling became a part of my habit and routine. So year three, I went to the Black Notebook. And in the long run, I look back at it, I need to go back and like really look at that notebook because I think I filled that thing up so doggone fast. It wasn't even funny. Uh, I've done good because I think based on the amount of days I have left, I should be able to plan up to the end of the year, and then we'll use the new yellow one. Uh, I don't know why I'm tempted to say my theme for for 2025 is be the light, but I don't. I'm not sure yet. I need to sit with it and go back and look. I know it was something that stood out, but the last 2 years I got the black model of the bullet journal. One year was just a regular bullet journal that was black, had the white, the regular pages, and then this year I got the X edition, which I mean, the look of it was the selling point, but overall, it was a clean planner. Mm, Would definitely use it again if it was, if they had it available. Uh, this year, I had one or two options. I was going to do either the stealth black or I was going to do the yellow. The only reason I did the yellow is because I haven't gone to a non-traditional black planner in a while. And I wanted to kind of ruffle things up a little bit with uh, my planning option. The stealth one was hard though. The only reason what steered me away from it, there were two things. One was price, and two was the packaging. Like you were getting the notebook, you're getting the pen, and you're getting the pen loop. And I'm gonna be real with you all in what I'm about to say. Even with me owning this last bullet journal, I really I liked the pen loop, but I didn't use the pen loop a lot. But then on top of that, I'm thinking about the fact that the stealth pen that they give you is it's a black, it has a black top, black pointer, black writing portion. But on the real, I'm like, is this one gonna fade like the other one did? Um, Looking back, if I go in my bag, I think the pencil so far has done like I think I've had the pencil for over a year. the bullet journal pencil. I don't use it very often, but I have it always available because you never know. But the bullet journal pen that comes in the stealth set, I really wasn't sure if I would really rock with it like that or not. And then on top of that, I still have like a Bordeaux notebook that I was looking at, and I was like, I have this notebook. I easily can use this notebook, and all I need is like I just would have needed the starter set for the like the stickers and the days of the week and the dates and stuff like that. But I just was like, I want to get a different one and spiff it up and all that stuff. So that's what I ended up doing. Uh, and plus, I have that notebook as a in case I need to do commonplace journaling or writing, I can just write in there and go from there. Because ironically, with that notebook, it was the pen. I bought the notebook, the pen, and the pen loop, and they all like just work great together as a unit. Like I don't have to ever worry about it not being where it is. Also, and this is super random, and I know a lot of y'all are like, Brian, you finished this broadcast like a while ago. You don't need to go in all detail all this, but I'm gonna talk about this with y'all because it's important. And it's stuff that I'm always into because it's just my wheelhouse. But uh I just thought about it very random. I need to start writing up topics for the year in review because December is next week. But the dotted grid notebook, the Bordeaux one that I bought, which Bordeaux is a color that I've fallen in love with. It's almost like I personally think it's like Virginia Union calls their color burgundy, but it's almost like a wine red in a sense. And most places I've seen the color references Bordeaux. So it's kind of that similar cut. And I could be wrong, but it's I got attracted to it thanks to rickshaw bags, but another conversation for another day. But the notebook has two strings that came with it. And the strings for like your bookmarks, to some people that doesn't seem like a big deal, but personally, I probably use those more than meets the eye because with the bullet journal, you get three. How I usually use mine is between either the index and or the future log, or so one is going to be used for the index and future log. It's going to be in the front at all times. The second one is going to always be with the month log, monthly log or monthly reflection. I always leave it on that page. And then the third one is going to go to the tracking, like anything that I'm logging. So if I do my rapid log for the day, it's going to be that particular ribbon will be with that one. So again, emphasis, review, reflect, overview, your heart and or health and your planning and your organizing your structure. Start on those things now and don't feel like you have to start at the same time as everyone else. If you started planning in October for 2025, kudos. If you're working on goals that you want to fulfill in 2025, now, huge kudos. If you are making efforts and strides to start going to the gym now, go to the gym now. Do not sit and do not sit waiting for this perfect day to start and do stuff. As humans, we have this habit and we have this thing of, well, I'm gonna just wait until um it's all on this day and at this point I'm gonna do blah 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 blah. And it's like, or just start now. Just do the thing now and get the ball rolling because the more you're waiting, the more you're trying to do as everyone else. Like one year, and I'll share the story, and then I'm gonna go because I need to go in the house and I need to get my day going. And I also want to make sure I don't do what I did yesterday and leave important things at home. But that's another conversation for another day. Um, Also, by the way, I don't think I need to do warm up for the car this morning, so that's a plus. It feels nice out here too, by the way. Um, train of thought. A few years ago, I was like, it's gonna come back to me. A few years ago, I remember looking at the year and looking at when the new year starts. So the new year universally, quote unquote, is January 1st. That's not everybody's new year. Some people's new year could be their birthday. Some people's new year could be going into the spring. I personally believe that when like March, April, May comes around, that's when I'm finding myself attached and attracted to starting the year off right. Okay, Dad, I hear you. I'm going in the house. I'm saying that because it's as soon as I said, "Oh man, it's nice out here," and it was like it just starts a little rain coming down. But I'm thankful for the rain by far. I'm thankful for the day. I'm glad to see the day, dear God. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for those who get an opportunity to be present on this day. Right now, I come to you and say, you have really worked with me and through me in many ways. And I share this, I share this prayer on this podcast, not to steer anybody in any way, shape, or form, but to let folks know that you are powerful and you are worthy to receive this praise. I know many times there are people who shout and praise, saying, singing and yelling hallelujah, Yahweh, etc. But in many instances, it's not about how we come to you. It's about the fact that we even come to you. And some people are still trying to learn to come to you and talk to you. So I ask right now that you just watch over me and watch over my friends and watch over those who are looking to evolve and become better and amazing people. These things I ask in your name. Amen. Love y'all and appreciate y'all. We're gonna wrap it up here. And until next time, Pat signing out.
Truly hope you all enjoyed the show. Definitely was a lot to unpack, but I know you'll walk away with something important. As I share at the end of each season, do find your way to get into podcasting if it's something you would like to do. My podcasts are currently recorded via Buzzsprout. Been very good to me. If you want to learn more about using them, definitely hit me up at thepastbtpod@gmail.com. And also the microphone that you're hearing me on is the Blue Yeti X. Have been rolling with it for over 3 years. We've been doing this ride for quite some time, so I hope someone could find this mic useful. Again, find those people who are good or helpful in what you're trying to do to be better today than you were yesterday. The primary goal is to be 1% better. Hope you all have an amazing day, and we'll be back again to do this next time.